Hey guys, I had so much fun in my last video about Master P's first album, Get Away Clean, and specifically his opening song, Saxophone, and how it compares and derives and rip-offs and everything else. King T's played like a piano. I thought I'd do the same thing kind of again by taking a look at another record that is so derivative that it is absolutely a complete and total bite. Here's a more fun, old-school example. As you can guess right from the title of the video, we're talking about the great, the one and only Public Enemy, Blam, and the group you're probably not so familiar with, the Rhythm Radicals. Now, one of Public Enemy's earliest, biggest singles, although not their first, which was Public Enemy #1, and then there's You're Gonna Get Yours, but #3, one of their biggest, Bring the Noise. A lot of you younger heads might, and more mainstream heads might be surprised to learn that this was not a duet with Anthrax. That was a remix which came much later. It's on album #4 there. Apocalypse 91, we're talking all the way back to Yo Bum Russia Show, 1987. Blam, 1987. And look at this 12-inch, you might think, wait a minute, Are You My Woman? That's because this was originally released as a split 12-inch with the Black Flames, Are You My Woman? And why? Because it was on the soundtrack to Less Than Zero, which was the Bret Easton Ellis adaptation starring Robert Downey Jr., sort of very watered down, but had a really cool 80s look. Anyway, so that was the film. Def Jam handled the soundtrack. That was pretty big for them. This was, early days of Def Jam, although a couple years in, but still pretty big for them. And of course, Russell Simmons, as you may remember, was very interested in R&B in those early years. He had Orange Juice Jones and stuff like that. And he had this group, the Black Flames. They're from New Jersey. There's 3 of them. And this particular song, Are You My Woman, is a remake of a Childlight song, also called Are You My Woman? And that's really enough about that. I'm not going to play a clip or anything of that, because we're here to talk about Public Enemy, the B-side, Bring the Noise. Of course, this became such a big hit that internationally it got released as its own 12-inch all around the world. But this is where it came out first. Now, Bring the Noise, even more so probably than Public Enemy #1, was a real iconic record. Partially because Public Enemy was just pretty brand new. This was still the first year they were on the scene. Everybody's, being introduced to them for the first time. So just the extreme dynamics between Chuck D with his hardcore deep voice, yo, 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 and Flavor Flav's all over the topness, and the crazy hardcore, very original, remember in 1987, they were making beats and stuff like this. Nobody was doing anything like it. So that's one of the main reasons why they blew up. Not the only reason, but certainly one of the big ones. And so Bring the Noise was just a real, everybody knew it. Everybody knew all the lyrics, all the details, all the kinds of deliveries they had, the samples, the scratches, the beats. It was just a real important, iconic record. And so I was very surprised then when I heard this one. I didn't even really know if it was a parody or what. For a long time I wasn't sure. I'm convinced now it's not a parody. But at the time I was like, is this sort of like a joke record? This is Dig the Rhythm, Bring the Noise, Dig the Rhythm, by the Rhythm Radicals. This is their first 12-inch, but not their only 12-inch, on April Records from 1988, the year immediately after Bring the Noise. Remember, Bring the Noise was their 3rd single, and their first 2 had also come out in 1987. So by the time Bring the Noise came out, it was the end of 1987. This came out in early 1988, so right on its heels, Dig the Rhythm, by the Rhythm Radicals. So I got a little bit more to say about this, but I think I really just got to get out of the way of this and just let you hear Dig the Rhythm as compared to Bring the Noise. I'm going to play you some clips side by side. You can really hear just how extremely on point it is. I mean, they don't quite go the full length of doing full-on Flavor Flav and Chuck D impressions. I mean, those guys are so dynamic and so unique that to really sound like them, you have to be doing a direct impression of them. If you want to rhyme and just like Big Daddy Kane, you could really basically do a Big Daddy Kane impression and not be accused of Big Daddy Kane impression because he's just sort of a very dynamic, strong MC, but not so crazy out there. You could just sort of say, well, I also have kind of a deep voice and a smooth flow and da-da-da-da. But if you're doing Public Enemy like this, you're doing Public Enemy. There's no question about it. And while these guys are not, nobody really quite does the Flavor Flav voice, when you hear the way they interplay with each other, when you hear the way they flow, even line by line similarities, again, just like saxophone to play like a piano, they are doing Public Enemy. They are doing Bring the Noise. There's no B-side to this, which is a little disappointing because it would have been cool to hear some more original Rhythm Radicals material even back then, or another Public Enemy ripoff song would have been fun too, Public Enemy #2. But no, just the instrumental. So, okay, now let's hear some clips.
Too black, too strong. Too black, too strong.
Yo, Chuck, man, let's show we can do this. Like Brutus, cause we always knew this. Yo, we gonna make them all say, yeah, boy.
Bass, how low can you go? Death row, what a criminal. Once again, back is the incredible rhyme animal, the uncannibal. Public Enemy #1.
Y'all at all better get right at this time, while the time is good, cause it might not be no next time.
Yo, Jazz, what's up with these boys, man? This time they wake up, you know? They gotta face up, man. We coming too strong, they better brace up. Ah, yeah!
Suckers, step off my mellow. A good crush for the musical intro. The invisible, rhythm radicals back again. Don't put the pedal to the metal, so you can understand the voice of voice command. Trying to expand the popularity of my rap band. Here's the Philly Bonky is cold in effect. Making a wreck from my polo to hit the deck.
Black is back, all in, we're gonna win, check it out.
Yeah, yo, come on.
Here we go again. Bring the noise.
So I'm on your town, down the rock rhythm round. We got something to prove.
Yeah.
So this the move.
Come on, come on, come on, yeah. Come on, kick it, yeah. Come on, yeah. Come on, take the move. Hey, yo, Chuck, this ain't we do flags, man.
Bring the noise.
Yo, I don't understand what they're saying, but little do they know they can get a smack for that, man.
Never batted and back, cause the brother is madder than mad at the fact is corrupt like a senator. Soul on the road, but you treat it like soap on a rope, cause the beats and the lines are so dope.
I'm the lyrical, prodigal, critical, radical, jazzical, kid, wonderful, uno, Manhattan of audio. I'm taking the rhythm, the melody, hop on because of me and my DJ symphony.
So there you go, the Rhythm Radicals. Now, the Rhythm Radicals were a couple guys from Philly, and this is not their only record. Is it their best record, their worst record? Is kind of hard to say. This is so derivative of Public Enemy, it is a lot of fun for that reason. And also, it is such a clone of Bring the Noise that it has a lot of the strength and power of Bring the Noise just by virtue of stealing from Bring the Noise. So in that sense, you could say it's sort of their best record, their most fun record. Their later records, they had a couple other 12 inches, are definitely more original, although they're still very much in the Public Enemy vibe. But they become, instead of like Public Enemy knockoff clones, a quasi-joke group, they just become a Public Enemy-like group. In fact, they actually signed to Luke Skywalker Records for the next couple 12 inches. And it just makes you wonder, like, did the Rhythm Radicals think, like, oh, we're in Philly, and that record's not really breaking in Philly, we're just gonna, you know, play this in our hood, and everybody's gonna think we're totally original, we're gonna get all this credit for it, and then, like, surprise, Public Enemy blew totally up. But again, it wasn't really their first showing, and I'm sure Philly heads knew about Public Enemy #1 and eventually killed Bring the Noise. So, I don't know, maybe they were just, I don't know, whatever Master P was thinking these guys were thinking. But I have to say, on the other hand, this record definitely does have enough original elements, or at least different elements, to recommend it. You know, how they're bringing in the same sample that Marley Marl used for MC Shan's The Bridge, and there's lots of nice cuts throughout the whole record, and the guys, you know, at some points he's definitely doing kind of a cheesy Chuck D voice where he sounds like he's over deepening his voice, but other times they sound good, and it is still a pretty good strong record on its own right. Is this their best record? On the one hand, sure, it's certainly got the novelty value and it's certainly got the strength of Bring the Noise. Their other records, though, are pretty solid, and they definitely have the virtue of being actual original songs that I think you can kind of take a little bit more pride in as an artist. So in that sense, maybe those records are better. But, you know, if you're just kind of going back for some old school fun novelty, this is really, I guess, the one you want. Rhythm Radicals on April Records, which was a Philly label. They didn't do exclusively hip-hop, but they did do some other hip-hop stuff. 1988. Not quite Bring the Noise.